These are 5 of my most complimented men's fragrances. I do wear them quite a bit. I really enjoy them. You're going to find out what they are coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about 5 men's fragrances that garner me compliments over and over and over again. These are some of my favorite fragrances. I really, really love them, and they're targeted specifically to men. But ladies, you can probably wear all of these. In fact, I think they're very unisex. But before I talk about the fragrances, let me tell you a little bit about how I get compliments and what I do to make sure to get compliments. So I spritz my fragrances and walk out. I walk out just freshly spritzed. And if you don't have the, the luxury of doing that yourself, I think what you should do is make yourself a decant. Get yourself some atomizers like this from Amazon and carry a decant with you. So if you're trying to get compliments from people, fresh spritzes of fragrances are going to do that more than fragrances that you spritzed on during the morning and it's in the afternoon or evening and it's no longer on you. That's number one thing that always triggers compliments for me. Freshly spritzed fragrances. 2, I spritz a lot. So I'm not spritzing 1 or 2 sprays. I'm spritzing 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 sprays of something. And this is definitely something that's going to get you noticed a lot more than spritzing something that's 1 or 2 sprays that probably wouldn't even project off of you to get the attention of somebody. So these are my rules for getting the attention of someone, especially if you're trying to get the attention of the opposite sex or somebody that you're attracted to. You want them to notice you with your smell. I would definitely take these rules into consideration. Now, everybody's different with the toleration of fragrances. So first of all, you have to be able to tolerate, spritzing yourself over and over again, or, before you go out, spritzing yourself, or also you have to tolerate a lot of sprays versus minimal amounts of sprays. So once you do that, I think compliments will come for sure, because people will smell what you're wearing. They'll smell you coming along, walking past them, and then that's when you're going to get the attention. So let's get started with the fragrances now. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Tom Ford, Noir Extreme Parfum. This is definitely one of the best fragrances from Tom Ford, and especially also since it is not the private blend collection, it is the signature line. But the Parfum edition of Noir Extreme is so much better and garners me compliments even more than the original. So I do spray quite a bit of this one on, and it has really great beefiness. It's really, really intense. It's super beefy and loud. And it has great longevity. And this is the kind of thing I do, is spritz myself freshly spritzed, and I go to restaurants or go do some shopping or, run some errands and things like that. And it's the kind of fragrance that garners me compliments. If you don't know Noir Extreme or Noir Extreme Parfum, I am recommending the Parfum, by the way. It's Venezuelan Tonka beans, sandalwood, amber, cedar, Guaiac wood, cardamom, Kahili, ginger. So it's a warm, spicy fragrance, but it has fresh and warm spices in the mix, and I think it's the combination of the ginger and the cardamom with the vanillic notes and the tonka and also the amber and of course the sandalwood that's in here that's triggering something. Like just the other day I was at Macy's and a woman said, "What are you wearing? You smell so good." And it hadn't even been an hour prior that I had spritzed this on. It was freshly spritzed. That's how she smelled it off of me. And, she complimented on how great I smelled. And it was Macy's, and Macy's does carry Tom Ford. So I basically said, go downstairs and check it out because this is really great. And then she goes, she normally wears something completely different. But she said what you're wearing is smelling really, really great. So again, for me, compliments come more frequently when I first spritzed on or newly spritzed on the fragrances. And of course, I'm always over spritzing my fragrances anyway, so people definitely will smell me. And this stuff is so good. It's a really, really amazing smell. I highly recommend this. And again, for me, compliments do come in with this one. And hopefully when you wear this stuff on as well, compliments will come as well. So this is Noir Extreme Parfum from Tom Ford. Check it out. Let me know if you're familiar with it, if you've garnered compliments from it. But moving on to the house of Dior, it is Dior Homme Parfum. And I've recommended this one quite a bit, and I garnered compliments a lot with this one as well. First of all, it's super sexy. It's a really, really sexy fragrance. It's basically a very, very beefy, intense, highly concentrated luxury edition of the original Dior Homme. I lost my train of thought there. This is Florentine Iris, Ceylonese Sandalwood, Leather, Ambrette, Agarwood, Cedar, Rose, and Orange. The perfect combination of notes. Smells like a very powdery, leathery purse that perhaps some makeup or lipstick had leaked into, spilled into. So you're getting the purse, the leathery purse smell. You're getting that kind of powdery touch and the lipsticky kind of makeup-y touch all rolled into one. It is a fantastic fragrance. And this one does garner me compliments because I'm obsessed with the way it smells. And when I really love a fragrance, I do spritz a lot of it on. And of course I go out because, you know, I'm here either shooting videos. And of course, if I didn't have my bottles with me, I'd probably carry one of these little, decants with me. And these atomizers don't cost a lot. It's like $100 for $12 or something. So just grab a box of them and fill them up with some of your fragrances. I mean, if you're working at a, kind of a company or place where people are sensitive, you might not be able to do this. But if you've got the luxury of being able to spritz yourself with fragrances, you could do it. But try this one if you haven't tried it. And, Fragrance Buy was still selling this stuff. They have stock. And I think it's now almost like it's widely available for some strange reason, which is also great because I know a lot of you guys were trying to get bottles of this and you are having a hard time. And Fragrance Buy does ship to the USA and they have it. And this is one of my favorite fragrances. This garners me compliments over and over again. Like recently, a woman, I mentioned before that I spritzed this on and I get into an elevator. And so one time I put it on and I got off the elevator and the woman took the same elevator from upstairs and came back down, and she came out saying, "Oh my God, what is that smell? Who's wearing that perfume?" And I basically told them what it was me, and I was wearing Dior Homme Parfum, and they were like really, really excited with the way it smells because they really thought that the smell was great, and they mentioned they should get it for her. She should get it for her husband, and I was like, "It's not that easy to get, but I can tell you where it is." She later just walked away, but. Great fragrance. Dior Homme Parfum is super fantastic if you don't know it. Next, it's Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. This one right here. So this one also garners me compliments, and I like this combination. It's a warm, spicy fragrance and with aromatics. There's tonka beans here. There's mint, lavender, benzoin, and vanilla. In the end, it's vanillic. It's also got that tonka bean nuttiness in here, a bit tobacco-ish as well. But it's got mint and lavender, giving you the aromatic, spicy herbal touches. And then, of course, amber, or it's creating an amber effect with the benzoin that's in here. But what I love is just the combination is so super intoxicating. It is a bit sugary sweet. It's ambery for sure, but the lavender and the mint does cut through and creates for a really, really wonderful wear. It's a totally new take on the original DNA of Le Male, which I wore back in the mid-90s. And I love what they've done to this one. They've made it into this very luxurious, intense experience with the warm notes and things like that. Does it smell like the original much? There's a little bit of the DNA in there that I experience, but to me it's fairly new, but it's just so good. It's really, really highly concentrated, intense, and long-lasting. And recently I was at a small little indoor-outdoor shopping center, and there were a bunch of escalators. And so I was taking an escalator, and a security woman was coming up, and she got a whiff of me from me leaving down the escalator. She's going up. She started hollering. She goes, "Ooh, you smell so good." So I actually turned around and went back upstairs and spoke to her about the fragrance, and I pulled up the photo of the photo of the fragrance and showed it to her. She goes, "I got to get me some of that for my man." I said it's really good. You can also wear it because it's quite unisex, I said, but really, really wonderful fragrance here. I don't know if you guys are fans of this. I know there's a lot of fans of this one, but I got some comments that people didn't like it. They were unimpressed with it or didn't like it for some strange reason. Let me know which camp you're in. You are a fan of it or you hate it. Put a comment down below. I really like the way these two bottles, kind of golden bottles, look. Then we're moving on to a few niche fragrances here. The first one is BVLGARI's TYGAR. This does garner me compliments, but this one to me is not super potent, so I do have to literally spray a lot of this stuff on. And one of the best compliment getters. This stuff is so great. And for me, it's grapefruit, but I feel like there's ginger in here. And there's actually fragrances out there that are made to smell like this, that actually throw in a ginger note as well. So is it ginger? They call it grapefruit here, along with the Ambroxan and woodsy notes. So it's musky. It's quite a bit musky. And the muskiness we're getting from the Ambroxan note, which first of all is ambery. It's made to recreate the smell of ambergris, which they don't smell anything alike. Ambroxan is super sexy, but it could be a bit sharp and synthetic smelling for some folks that might be extremely sensitive to it. I hated Ambroxan at first, but now I'm actually addicted to it. But it's also woody, dusty, and all these really great, you know, kind of accords that you get from Ambroxan. And for me, against the grapefruit, the zing, spiciness, the zinginess, and the bitterness, and also the juiciness of the grapefruit is all captured in here perfectly. And it smells super, super fantastic. So the compliment I got with this one time I was walking on the street, and I started noticing somebody was like really getting closer and closer to me. And I was like, oh, maybe they must have recognized me from YouTube. They didn't. They finally got up to me and they asked me what I'm wearing, and I said it's called TYGAR, not Tiger, but TYGAR from BVLGARI. And they said, oh, I love BVLGARI. I've never seen this fragrance. I said this is one of their luxury collections. It's not the signature or the original line that you'd find everywhere. I said you can go to Bloomingdale's here in San Francisco or Neiman Marcus now. You can get this fragrance. But it is quite pricey, I said. But they said, oh my God, it smells so good on you. I really, really want to get it for my husband. That's she said. So compliments do come in. But like I said, I do spritz my fragrances on quite recent, like would be when the compliments come. So also with this one, I do carry a little atomizer with me just to replenish. I'm personally not into samples or decants myself. I don't like the sprayers, but with this one for sure, I do carry a little bit of that around, and I leave it in my backpack so that I can spritz myself on with that fragrance because I just love it. And this bottle is not easy to carry. It's quite heavy too. So either way, this is BVLGARI's TYGAR. Let me know if you know that fragrance. And then last but not least, this one from Parfums de Marly. It's ALTHAIR. Are you guys familiar with this one? I know it's pretty popular. This was definitely a really great fragrance from this house. Although the new one is not bad, Perseus, but it's not as exciting for me as this one is. This is vanilla. Obviously, I'm a big vanilla lover, and I really like these kind of fragrances. And so this is featuring bourbon vanilla, pralines, cinnamon, ambrox, musk, cardamom, bergamot, orange blossom, elemi resin, and Guaiac wood. What I really like about this one, it does have that reminder of a Parfums de Marly fragrance. It's kind of like a DNA, and I believe this is Hamid Moradi Kashani along with Elias Hermenides, the perfumers. I was drawing a blank there for a minute. So they're Firmenich perfumers, and Parfums de Marly has created a lot of fragrances with Firmenich perfumers. So in the end, they're kind of maybe using the DNA. It just has a reminder. But for me, it has a reminder of things like Leighton or Carlisle, but with a vanilla edge to it. Because this is quite dry. It's not a syrupy, sticky, sweet vanilla. In fact, whatever vanilla notes we have in any of these fragrances, they're on the dry side, except for the DIOR Homme Parfum, which was more powdery. But man, this is so, so good. Really, really great. I love the gourmand qualities, but it's gourmand in a masculine way, in a spicy way. It's super, super amazing. And I spritz this stuff on quite a bit because I really, really love the way this fragrance smells. It's definitely a really great offering from Parfums de Marly. Again, I was a little underwhelmed, I should say, with Perseus. It smells good though. I think that could be a very dumb reach fragrance. This one, I have to be in the mood for vanilla, and I'm always in the mood for vanilla to begin with, and it just comes in quite handy. With this one, one of the compliments I received one time, I was in line at a grocery store, and I had just spritzed this stuff on, and quite a lot. And I noticed this woman was looking at me like she was. Once again, I thought that she might have recognized me, but she didn't recognize me either. Neither did the TYGAR woman. But she said, "What are you wearing? I really love what you're wearing." And I said, "It's called ALTHAIR from the House of Parfums de Marly." She goes, "I don't know this brand, but whatever you're wearing, it smells really, really great. I want to wear it." And I'm like, "Okay." It's quite pricey, I said. You can go to Neiman Marcus here in the city. You can go to ZGO Perfumery. You can go to... Does Bloomingdale's have it? I can't remember if Bloomingdale's has it too. But yeah, I just recommended this stores. I said, go check it out. It's a male fragrance, I said, but I feel like it's quite unisex. But either way, if you haven't tried ALTHAIR, it's really, really a great fragrance. I love the way it smells. It smells fantastic on me. All of these fragrances, when I freshly spritz them on and go out, they have really great projection and sillage. So this is what's contributing to the compliments. If you don't have this, if you're minimally spraying fragrances, people are not going to notice you that much. And if you're out there to get the attention of somebody, you want them to notice your smell, that's what you have to do. Remember, keep a decant of the fragrance with you, replenish every once in a while, and don't worry about over spritzing your fragrance. I don't. Anyway, those are my 5 most complimented men's fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances, and let me know some compliments that you've received from some of the fragrances you're wearing. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.